What is up, everybody? It's Cobes here, and today I'm back with a South Park Phone Destroyer video. In today's video, we're going to go over the top 10 best fantasy cards, at least what I think are the top 10. Everyone leave your comments. I would appreciate it. And remember, I did sci-fi, adventure, and neutral so far. We have mystical left after this video. So we're going to go over what cards didn't make the list. Let's get started right away. I would say Grand Wizard Cartman is one of those cards I just couldn't see myself putting in the top 10 just because I think he's the worst Cartman. At least to me, I would rather go against a Grand Wizard Cartman than any of the Cartmans, especially Osmo 4000. I would rather go against I would rather go against Grand Wizard Cartman than Osmo 4000. And Osmo 4000, I've seen a lot of level 4s, and his freeze is so annoying. It lasts so long. But the Grand Wizard Cartman, his ability, it doesn't really even compare to Osmo 4000 or any of the other ones. Next, we have Dark Mage Craig. Okay, so his area damage and war cry, or area damage and his war cry halves enemy leader attack for 5 seconds. It's not really going to do much if you're rushing with this guy or you drop him as you're rushing with some other troops. I guess that could be decent, but really I don't see many people doing that. I see them dropping him by himself, so I guess they're really not taking any advantage on that. I guess it does 5.25 seconds, not just 5. So you can probably get that up to maybe 6 or 7 if you level him up. I don't know exactly. But his area damage just isn't enough compared to like a Terrence or even a Nathan, really. Next, we have Dwarf Engineer Dougie. I mean, come on. The Amazingly Randy. Yeah, no. Underpants Gnomes are a card that I wish would have been good. Well, if I was to run fantasy. But to be honest, they're just not even that great, especially when there's rats. But if you use them with rats, I guess that can be a pretty deadly combination with all those swarm. But it just doesn't work out the way you would think it would. If you use them, Catapult Timmy, and Rats, you could have 9 swarm units on the ground and then drop some pigeons in there as well. I want to see someone make a video on that. So there's a video idea for any of you who want to make some videos. Pigeon Gang, Underpants, Gnomes, Rats, and then Catapult Timmy Rats as well. Shield Maiden Windy is just not a card I can see myself putting on this list. She's a fighter, but she's a legendary card. Her ability seems like it would work perfectly. Her charge becomes invincible for 3 seconds, so she has a shield around her for 3 seconds, but the amount of damage and how slow she hits, it's just really not that effective. Next, we have Chicken Coop. I mean, this is a joke of a card. So we have Cock Magic and Transmogrify that both didn't make the list. I just don't think fantasy spells are all that worth it. I know Cock Magic, you can't even see who you're turning into a cock. So when you get it to level 4, the number of targets is 4. That's interesting. I did not know that. So you could turn 4 of the enemies into cocks. But unless you're trying to like fool someone or fake someone out, and they drop 3 troops right off the bat, and then you drop a Cock Magic, which is still 5 energy, I just don't see it being worth it. And the random aspect to it, where you can't even see who you're turning into a cock, it's not going to work out in your favor most of the time. Then we have Transmogrify, which I just feel like it's a little bit too costly. So at our number 10 spot, I have to give it to Kyle of the Drow Elves. I think he is a decent card. I could definitely see him being switched out for someone else. But I feel like he deserves this spot because it's like one of those cards you have to deal with. Or they're just going to drop a Dougie on you, and then they're going to use his ability, or like they're going to drop something. Maybe they're going to swarm you with a bunch of different cards. Then use Kyle of the Drow Elves ability. It can be annoying, but to be honest, it's not that hard to deal with. Even if they drop a Dougie and take out a bar, most likely you're going to be able to push back and take out a bar, and then it's an even match at that point. So we have a combo for number 9 and number 8. So for our number 9, I would have to give it to Robin Tweak, and number 8, I would have to give it to Canadian Knight Ike. I think they work very well together. I don't think they're all that great when they're not put together. I think Robin Tweak can be good with some cards. He can be really good with Terrence, I think. Who else? I guess really any card he can be good with. You just have to tell me in the comment section, since I don't personally use them. But him and Canadian Knight Ike, it's like, oh my fucking god, I gotta deal with this shit now. But basically, he fires an apple at a troop, and he gives a huge health boost to whatever troop is hit. So let's say he gives Canadian Knight Ike like 400 extra health, and then Canadian Knight Ike charges. He uses his charge ability, which increases his max health and fully heals him. That's insane, guys. If you let this guy run rampant, he can take out a bar and fucking fuck you up and take out your whole tower. He can take out all 3 phones if you don't stop him. And like if you let him run, if you don't have enough energy and you let him get too close to the tower, he can be invincible basically, especially with Robin Tweak. So for our number 7 spot, I would have to give it to the second best Timmy. We have Catapult Timmy, the second best Timmy in the game. And his charge is launches Filthy Rats at the nearest enemy, even though the rats aren't all that great, especially after the nerf. If you guys didn't know, I think he fired 3 rats instead of 2, and it was basically like a free rat swarm. I still think he's a usable card at this point. Only firing off 2, he can be annoying, and he does some nice damage just as a regular Timmy without that ability. For our number 6 spot, we might have a surprising choice for some of you. I think LeBar Jimmy is one of the best Jimmys in the game, if not the best. So his Warcry decreases max health of all enemies. So if you drop a LeBar Jimmy on the field when they have rats or any sort of swarm unit, I think even pigeons, LeBar Jimmy can kill the pigeons or rats instantly with that Warcry, no matter where they are on the map. So I've ran into this guy quite a few times when I've played against Fantasy. And I would say that's what he's most useful for, and then it also hits every other troop around as well. So I think this is a pretty underrated card. Go try it out, especially if you're Fantasy. For our number 5 spot, it might be surprisingly high up on this list, but I think Paladin Butters has to be one of the best assassins in the game. If you didn't know what he did, his Death Wish, closest ally or leader becomes invincible for 3 seconds. A lot of people use this with Princess Kenny, so Paladin Butters and Princess Kenny behind him. I think that's a great combination, but it's like, fuck, I gotta deal with this shit again. There's so many things in Fantasy that it's just like, fuck, I gotta deal with this. Is gonna be a whole thing, and I don't want to go through with it. But I can see you putting him way higher on the list. Let me give you my reasons why he's not that high. Or at least why he's not higher after I start telling you these next cards. So Dwarf King Clyde at the number 4 spot I think is very respectable. So at this point at level 3, he does 233 damage at whoever his Warcry hits. So when you see a Dwarf King Clyde dropped, he's going to rush towards whatever troop, whatever troop he locks onto. So if he drops it on any assassin or basically any fighter at level 4 or 5 for Dwarf King Clyde at least, he's going to kill them, and he's going to do some massive damage to a tank. If the tank's like at half health or a little bit above that, he can kill him with 1 swing. After his Warcry though, he's not that great, but I still think he's a must-use in Fantasy. Next we have Princess Kenny at number 3. I think Princess Kenny is better than Paladin Butters. Her Death Wish, the unit's killer has 0 attack for 10 seconds. For 10 seconds, that means whoever kills her is basically useless. You can't drop rats on her, and that's probably the best counter, but you probably would want to drop rats on Paladin Butters as well. So you can't stop them both unless they're both rushing at you. But this is honestly deadly, so she does some nice fucking damage. She's a great assassin. And then let's say you stop her somehow. Well, that unit has 0 attack. I think she's better than Paladin Butters in my opinion. What do you guys think? Next we have our number 2 card. We have Stan the Great. Stan the Great is a card that I hate going against. I hate going against a lot of Fantasy cards, I have to admit. But if you didn't know what he did, his charge, reduce attack of all enemies for 5 seconds. It's super annoying to deal with, and there's really no way to stop him unless you have like a lightning bolt in hand, or maybe a fireball can take him out possibly. Depending upon your fireball level. But if you're not going to deal with this guy, he's going to get his ability off no matter what, and I see him constantly in Legendary, and it's so annoying to go against. I think he's a fucking great card, and I would definitely suggest using him. He's probably one of the best stands out there, if not the best. For our number 1 spot, who do you guys think it is? We have Rogue Token. In the current state of this game, where it's so assassin heavy, I think Rogue Token deserves this number 1 spot. you can have like 5 or 6 troops rushing towards the tower. You're like, yes, yes, he's gonna give up. He's gonna give up. I got the 3 phone victory. And then he drops the rogue token. That's me. That's my phone. He drops the rogue token. And it's like, fucking hell, man. Oh, god damn it. I thought I was gonna win this one. I thought I was gonna get all 3 phones and the guy gave up. But you guys know what this guy does. I'm actually pretty close to level 4 with him, so maybe I'm gonna have to start running fantasy, which I'm never going to do because I just don't have enough cards. But thank you guys for watching. Tell me your list. I will be doing mystical for tomorrow's video, so I hope you guys do enjoy that. Drop a like, drop a sub if you did enjoy it. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.